Well, good evening, beautiful jazz musicians of University Prep. It's time again for tonight's Vinyl Delights. So tonight, I was sitting down here with my wife, Dara, and I asked her, I said, what should we play? What should we do tonight? And she thought for a minute, and her eyes lit up, and she said, Carmen McRae. And that's why she's my wife. Carmen McRae, one of the great singers of all time, and this is, in my opinion, one of her finest hours, finest records, finest accomplishments. This is Carmen Sings Monk. It is an entire record of Carmen singing Thelonious Monk tunes. You might look at these titles and say, what now? But that's because they all have lyrics written for them, and so they were retitled based on the lyrics. But these are all Thelonious Monk tunes with just an amazing cast of characters here. Al Foster on the drums, the great George Mraz on the bass. There's some live tracks and some studio tracks on this record, so you've got, depending, either Clifford Jordan or Monk's longtime associate Charlie Rouse on the tenor sax, and you've got either Larry Willis or Eric Gunnison on the piano. So just remarkable musicians all, and backing up one of the great singers of all time. It was really, really hard for me to then figure out which song to play for you. This album came out, I think, in 1988, 1989, somewhere around there is my guess. Not too long before Carmen passed away, and I didn't know much about her when this came out, but I was a Thelonious Monk fan, and so I heard one of these songs on the radio and loved it and went out and bought the CD at that time. And I can't even tell you how many times I listened to this record back then. I know every note. I can sing you every single note of every single song on here, even though it's this record is decades old now, which is kind of amazing. So I listen to it a lot, and I love it so much. I don't think there's one bad track on here at all. So I was going to play you something that featured her scatting, because she's a phenomenal scat singer. Then I thought, well, maybe I'll play something that features some real great solos from the band, because these guys are all phenomenal. But then I decided to feature this one. She calls it Monkery the Blues, or I should say Abby Lincoln calls it Monkery's the Blues. Abby Lincoln was our feature last night on tonight's Vinyl Delights. Well, she wrote the lyrics for this. This is the song Blue Monk, which is a very famous Thelonious Monk tune. Every single one of you knows that song. We play it all the time, right? Or we have played it over the course of the years all the time. So this is her take on that with Abby Lincoln's beautiful, beautiful lyrics. And the reason that I chose this mostly is because it's just an amazing showcase for Carmen's time. Her sense of time is so remarkable. She's one of those rare performers that has gotten her internal sense of time is so strong that it's almost as if when she sings, the time doesn't really exist anymore. And when that happens, when an artist gets to that level and can have their sense of internal time so strong like that, it almost is like the time is gone and it becomes more conversational. At least that's how I hear it. So when I hear Carmen sing this song, it really feels like she's telling me a story. Because when we talk, there's nothing going that is kind of dictating any tempo of any kind. When we're talking, it's all rubato, right? We're constantly speeding up and slowing down. We're using dynamics, all the stuff that singers do and that we do, right? But she has this ability to just lay it all out there like that, right? And the time is gone. Well, I'll let you listen to it for real here, but the time is just gone when she sings. It's just remarkable. A couple other things to note on this song. George Mraz's solo. The bass player takes the first solo on here, which is not all that common. But Mraz is such a fluid soloist. It's just amazing. And there's one part in the middle of his solo where Carmen actually vocalizes, "Yeah, George," like she's into it. She's like really digging what he's doing. And then all the solos on here are great. It's Clifford Jordan on the saxophone, who, again, another one of these musicians who their sense of time is so strong that he's just floating above the time, right? And then Eric Gunnison, also just tremendous on the piano. Don't want to leave out poor Al Foster. He doesn't get a solo on this song, but he's one of the great drummers we have still with us and still recording and playing, and super melodic. There's a song on here where he takes a solo, and it's just melody all the way through, which is really cool. So don't just listen to the one song. Go listen to the whole album. Do yourself a favor. You will love it. So that's tonight's Vinyl Delights. I hope you dig the track. Again, it's called Monkery's The Blues, and it's her version of Blue Monk. Dig it. Enjoy it. Enjoy your day off tomorrow, and we'll see you Tuesday in class. All right. Good night.